tonight I'm making a recipe that I learned from my sister-in-law, Christy. She calls it goulash casserole. To me, I would call it a hamburger casserole. It's very simple and it has very little ingredients and it doesn't take any time at all to make. You start out with 1 pound of hamburger. Now, as you can see, when we buy hamburger, we buy it in bulk from the meat market in 10-pound bags. And what I do is I come home and I separate that into 1/4 pound packages. And what I do is I put it inside of a regular sandwich bag, and then I freeze them in a Ziploc freezer bag. So it's easier to do recipes when I do it this way, and it's for really good for when Big Papa wants cheeseburgers. I just open the freezer, grab one out, and fry it for him. So there is 4 of those. It also is going to take 1 box of elbow macaroni. You can use any kind of pasta with this. I've used just about any kind of pasta. My favorite though is the elbow macaroni. And what you'll do is you'll just boil this down, and then once it's cooked, you'll drain all the water off of this. 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, 1 can of tomato soup, some cheese for the top. You can use whatever kind of cheese you want. A mixing bowl to mix everything together, and a baking dish. Salt and pepper. That's it. So when I get this all put together, I will come back and show you. Now that my macaroni is done and drained, I just put it back into the same pot that I cooked it in. And I have browned my ground beef and drained off all of the grease. I'm going to take salt and pepper. You can put any spices in here that you want. For some reason, this is one of those dishes that I just want salt and pepper, nothing else in this. Stir that. Then I'm going to add 1 can of tomato soup. And 1 can of mushroom soup. Now, a lot of people don't like mushrooms. My husband doesn't like mushrooms. None of my kids like mushrooms, but they absolutely love this. You don't even taste the mushrooms in it. And the little pieces of mushroom that you do find in the casserole, you can't tell whether or not it's mushroom or if it's hamburger. Let's say you do like mushrooms. You can easily get a can of mushrooms, drain the juice off, and add a can of mushrooms to this also. Then I'm going to take my ground beef, add it, and I'm going to mix this all together. And then I took my baking dish, coated it with olive oil, and just pour that into your baking dish. And let me get my cheese. And I'm just using this shredded Mexican style cheese. It's got Monterey Jack, cheddar, queso, and Asiago cheese in it. Cover the top. And we're going
to bake this in the oven on 350 for 45 minutes or until the cheese is melted and browned.
45 minutes in the oven and our casserole is done. This is also good with a salad and some garlic bread on the side. Tonight I am just having mine in a bowl. Sorry for the steam. Macaroni and hamburger casserole.